Hello guys, today we will look into the understanding the Kubernetes C client library. This can be useful to avoid the YAML dependencies. This can be useful to have the programmatical control over the Kubernetes. You can reduce the dependency on the DevOps in small scale organization. We will try to understand the Kafka plus Kubernetes integration is a simple C example. There are the good chances to replace the chargeable messaging tool, likewise Azure Service Bus, by a pre-messaging service, likewise Kafka. Okay, let's understand what are the libraries I have used here. I have used the Kubernetes client library to control the Kubernetes. I have used Confluent Kafka to produce the messages from the publisher. I have used the hosting library to host the background services that will treat as a subscriber that will read the messages. What are the tools I have used? I have used the Docker Desktop 4.22 plus Kubernetes enabled in Docker Desktop. I have used the one client-side tool. It is the AKHQ Kafka Insight. It's just like as a subscriber that we will try to implement. So that will read the messages, that will display the messages. Okay, so I have used the .NET 8.0. Okay, let's discuss about the how I have arranged the code. Let's try to understand first how the Apache Kafka I have arranged. I have created one program. So I have another class. It is there, Apache Kafka example. This class will take care of the generating the Kubernetes services and all the deployment. Okay, so I have I will be working on the default namespace. Let's check whether the default namespace is available or not. Let's check kubectl get ns. Okay, so default namespace it is there. It is good. All right. So I have created the Kubernetes client here. So this is the Kubernetes client how I have created. I have imported all the namespaces that is required. Okay, once you created the client, Kubernetes client, so I have gathered all the deployments. Okay, so here I will delete all the existing deployments and I will recreate them. If it is any existing entities are there, so I will delete all those one and then I will recreate. Okay, so this is the deployment. I have marked it is a kind as a deployment. So guys, in YAML you have to specify the kind keyword as a deployment. So this is how we do it in the C# client library. So this is the deployment name. So this is the deployment name. Okay. All right. Here I have created the deployment specs here. I have marked it is as a one replica. I have assigned some selector. And keep in mind, this selector should be unique throughout your application. Okay, so you can see this selector is also is matching to the level of the uh, template, pod template. All right, and this should also get matched to the services that we will look into in next. All right. Okay, here I have created one pod that comprises all the four containers. Here I have created only one pod. It contains four containers. Rather creating each kind of pod for the separate container. So guys, means the pod have the separate IP. So that separate IP will create the confusion and the errorness for communicating. So to avoid that one, I created four containers in single pod. All right. So here I am pulling the image, I am assigning the image, and I am specifying the container port here. It is the 9092, and this is the host port. This is the most important thing. This host port, it should be matched to your services. So it is the linking between your service target port and your host port. Okay, so I have not created any service for the Kafka, as I do not want to interact with the Kafka outside. I do not want to access the it outside. It should be in cluster IP. Okay, so here I have created the Kafka publisher image. I have assigned the Kafka publisher image. Okay, I have assigned the container port 8020 and host port also 8020. So basically, so the container port and host port most of the time are similar to avoid the confusion for the communications or to avoid the errorness. Okay, so we will look into this publisher how I have created and how I'm pushing the into the Docker Hub. So we will discuss later. Okay, so this is also the same, the Kafka subscriber. I am assigning this image to this container. Okay, so this is the port 9050 container port I have assigned, and this is the host port, and this is 9050. Okay, so let's see how the port is assigned to the services. So this is the port, this is the host port 9050. You can see this is the port. This is the target port I am specifying here. Okay, and this is the exposing port for that service. Okay, we will look into the next. Okay, the same is done for the publisher also. Okay, so this is the AKHQ my Kafka image. I have created my own based on the AKHQ Docker image. We will also look into that one how I have created this AKHQ my Kafka image. Okay, so this is the port also I have exposed to the host port, and I have assigned to the target port to the in services. Okay, all right. So let's see the applications that I have created for the publisher. Okay. Also, okay. So publisher means I want to publish some any messages. So I have created one messaging entities that will continuously that will publish the any book details. So this is the simple class I have derived here. Okay, and so when I click on the publish, so in the random way it will return the next book. Okay, so we will look into that one also. Okay, so here it is the web application I am creating here. Okay, so I am creating the I am building that application, and I have created one endpoint in simple way rather than going into the creating the controller base all the stuffs. It is the simple get mapping. It is there. Here I have created the API publish endpoint. Okay, so this will produce the messages, and this will push into the Kafka. Okay, so we will look into that one how we can read that one in the next upcoming segment. Okay, so this will generate the new book, and this is the I have created the one deliver result here. I have created the configuration config here. Okay, so this is the bootstrapper servers I am mapping here. Okay, this is the nothing but the Kafka communication IP along with the port, and here the producer builder to build the to generate the message. Okay, Here, the, this message I have serialized into the JSON. Okay, then I am producing the message and I am capturing the delivery report. Once the delivery report is fine, then I am assigning to the some variable and I am returning that variable into the as a response. All right. So after that, I am pushing out the producer object. This is how the I have built publisher service. Now let's see how I arranged the subscriber service. Alright, before going to that one, I will show you how I arrange the Docker file for that publisher. Okay, here also I am mapping the Docker image port as a 8020. So keep in mind this all port should be in sync. This 8020 port from the Docker is also should be in sync. It should be mapped to this container port and it should be mapped to the host port and ultimately it should be mapped to the target port here. All right. All right. Okay. So this can be anything to access to outside the cluster IP. All right. So this is the environment. These are the environment variable that I have created, and simply I done the Docker build image and I pushed the Docker build image to the Docker Hub. All right. So let's go to the subscriber next one. Here also I have created one simple endpoint here. Yes, this one the just to check whether the service is up or not. So I have assigned the port here, and here the most important thing is there. I am having the some hosted service here. Let's see. Whenever the it comes into the constructor, as soon as possible, I am trying to the start the execution. Here I have created the consumer config, that is the Kafka consumer config, and here I am returning a task. I am running the task here, the consumer builder. Okay, so I am subscribing to that topic, and I am marking it as a infinite loop. Okay, so it will goes into the thread blocking mode. So that is why I have created this service, background service. Okay, so if there any publishing message is happening here, it will goes into the inside and it will write in the console.log. Okay, that is nothing but the our Docker desktop log. Okay, so we will look into that one also. Here also I have arranged one Docker file in same way. Okay, so this is the port that I have exposed. So these are the environment variables, and these are the environment variables for the Kafka. All right. Okay. So one thing you need to understand, all the ports should be in sync. This is also the 9050 here. The Docker file also, it is the 9050 and it is in same into the your Kubernetes deployment pod. This is the one 9050 container pod. This is the host port. All right, and this host port is nothing but mapped to the this one. All right, and this is the exposing port for that service. All right, okay. So we will look into the AKHQ now. How I have arranged the AKHQ is there. All right. So you can go to the AKHQ AKHQ.io. Okay, you can go to the documentation, then you can go to the installation. How we can do the installation for that one? Docker. All right. You can see the AKHQ needs some mounting of volume that will copy to the uh, application.yaml to the app.application.yaml. Okay, so sometimes in the Docker desktop or in the Kubernetes, there are much more chances to have the error occurring into mounting the volumes. So to avoid that, I simply just have the copy command in the Docker file. I just copied this application.yaml file into the specified location. This is the good shortcut to avoid the error. Okay, so we will look into the how the application.yaml I have arranged here. All right, so this is the our Kafka port along with the localhost. This is the most important setting. It is here connection. Okay, and these are the other connections. We are not going to interact with those connections. This is the Docker Kafka server, and this is the local connection. All right. So you should aware that this port is exactly matching to the pod container port. This one. This is the Kafka port. Okay. So in the same way, I have built the image for this Docker file. I have pushed that image into the hub, and I am pulling that image while creating the deployment. And ultimately, you also have to log in into the Docker hub if you are pulling the image from the Docker hub. Else, it will show an error for the login. All right. Here also, I have exposed. I have mapped the port as 8080. The host port also 8080. It is there. All right. Here, I am creating the namespace deployment. This is the most important stuff. It is there. So it will create the all your containers for that deployment into the Docker desktop. Here I am creating the three services. I am exposing three services here. This is the I am marking it as a load balancer. This is the publisher service that we will publish the message, and the port it is 8020, and this selector should get matched to the our label, that is the pod deployment label. It is there. If you miss this one, then you are not able to map this service to the uh, referred deployment. All right. So this is the another one service I am exposing. It is for the subscriber. The subscriber that is we have here created. So that will be useful to access the console output of the background service. Okay. So this is the port. This is the target port here. All right. And this is the last one service I am exposing here to access the AKHQ. This is one. So I am accessing this is a as a port 8090. It is a target port is 8080. It is there. Okay, let's see what is happening after we run this application. Okay, so you can see there are some existing containers are there that I already I had run this application. So all these are going to be terminated now. It is showing that it is exited. It is deleting all the containers now, and this also will goes down. Yeah, you can see all are going to be exiting mode, and it will be recreated. So let's see. Yeah, the application runs successfully without any error. Let's see. kubectl get pods. You can see the containers are being created here. Okay, so you can see the containers are being running mode now. All the old ones are getting down. Okay, so this AKHQ also is lost. Subscriber is there, publisher also is there, and this is the Kafka. Okay, let's see. Okay, okay, all right. All the services are not, all the deployments are now running. Now let's see. Localhost 8090. Oh, great. So now you can see this AKHQ Kafka inset is now launched. Okay. So now let's see the localhost 8020 API. Hello publisher. Okay, now let's see what is happening inside the subscriber now. Yes. So here we will see publish. Yes, this one message has been produced and it is been published. So let's see what is happening inside here. Let's restart this one, and now let's see what is happened here. Yes, you can see the message is now published here, and let me restart this. Now you can see there are messages are there in subscriber service. Let's see, try once again what is happening in subscriber service. So let's see, it is in AKHQ inside. All the messages are there in AKHQ inside. All right. So you can see all the messages are also there on the subscriber. Let's try once again. Oh, great. All the messages are there in subscriber. So this is how we can interact with the Kafka plus Kubernetes using the C#. In the next video, we will look into the Azure Service Bus emulator using the Kubernetes plus C#. Thank you.